Hi, welcome to the Local Flavor. We're here with James at Smokey's again, and he's going to give us some more tidbits about the side dishes. So we did a show on the meats, and now we're going to do a show on the side dishes, and he's got some absolutely awesome side dishes. So we're starting with asparagus.
That's right. We're going to do bacon wrapped asparagus, and so we have some for both of us to do. You just take a cluster of asparagus like that.
Okay.
And then you take 2 pieces of bacon.
Okay. A little piece of bacon.
Yep. And so we basically take the bacon, starting with the fat end, and we wrap it so that the smaller end, if you have a smaller end, is on the top.
On the top.
Right.
Okay.
And that's just it for consistency. There's no other reason to do that. And it seems easier. And then we'll take this other piece of bacon, fat end, starting on top, and we wrap it just like that. And you can do this with one long piece of bacon. That I just like the shorter pieces because it seems like I get more bacon that way.
Like this? Did I do okay?
Yep, you did great.
Okay, cool.
So that's it. Now that we have these wrapped, we're going to stick them on our pan with the other ones here.
Okay.
And then we just add a little olive oil, or I'm using Rural, which is a butter vegetable oil mixture, and we just drizzle that over the top.
Now I got to ask you about this. This is, what did you call this again?
It's called Rural. So it's butter tasting vegetable oil.
Oh, okay, okay.
Which I love. So I love the flavor of butter. So that's it. So these will go in the oven to cook. They take about 20 minutes to cook, and depending on how firm you like your asparagus.
Now this would be an appetizer or a side dish?
This could be either or.
Okay.
If it was an appetizer, we probably wouldn't bushel as many together. We'd do individual asparagus.
And then wrap it in bacon?
And then wrap it in bacon.
Yeah.
It's since it's going to be a side dish, that's why we bundled 4 to 5 together.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm basically just pinching these asparagus to see if they're done, to see if they're tender. And they're not quite done yet. I didn't put a timer on it. I'm watching it, looking at the bacon, seeing if the bacon gets crisped up, and making sure that it's tender. So we'll leave that in.
So we put the asparagus in the oven, and now what's the next item?
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. What did you do to cauliflower?
I basically I'm roasting it whole.
Okay.
But with a Dijon mustard sauce on it, and then Parmesan cheese on the top.
Oh.
So it's a crusted cauliflower.
Oh, show us what it looks like.
So I started already with the Dijon mustard on it. So that's halfway done. There's the cauliflower. So what we're going to do is the last step. All right, so, and what you do, the most important thing is you see it lays flat in the pan. So when I bought this, it was a whole cauliflower with the stems and the leaves. So you pick off all the leaves and you cut it so that it's flat.
Okay.
And then you put your mustard, Dijon mustard, pepper, a little bit of salt, and I rubbed it all over that. That's why it's brown. And I have another tablespoon of Dijon mustard, some Parmesan. And then
mix it all together.
This is one I'm going to mix all together, and then I'm going to put this over the top of that to give me a cheese crust. Slather it on.
Do you have to be a little bit gentle because of the...
Yeah, because it's already cooked. Now I'm going to cook it for another 10 minutes just to get the Dijon and the cheese to melt a little bit.
Okay.
But, so yeah, I can't... And it's too hot for me to just use my hands to do this, so.
So you have a head of cauliflower that you flatten off. You put, is it just Dijon mustard that you coat it with, or
3 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of oil, vegetable oil, and salt and pepper to taste.
Okay, so that's what you first put on it.
That's what you first put on.
And how long do you bake it for?
50 minutes. Okay. And then I pull it out, and I'll put the cheese rub on the top of it, and then I put it back in for another 10 minutes. So all total, it's cooking for an hour.
Oh, okay.
So now I'll put this back in. My nose test is telling me that cauliflower is done.
Oh, the nose test.
I can smell it, so let's go ahead and see what we're looking at here.
Oh, that smells good.
Nice and steamy. It's not dry. You can see there's still a lot of moisture in there. Here you go. You can tell the audience what you think.
Oh, that's good. No, I didn't know what to expect with mustard, but it doesn't, it blends the flavors with the cauliflower, so it doesn't come out really mustardy tasting. So if you're afraid of mustard, this doesn't really taste that mustardy. It tastes, the cauliflower really comes out in this. Oh, this is good. And so easy. Easy, and
I think it has a really good kid appeal.
Well, it not only has a kid appeal, but it also has, it's a nice presentation. For your holidays or anytime. And cauliflower is so good for you.
We're rocking the cauliflower.
Yeah. The potatoes.
Potatoes.
Yes, we always have to have potatoes.
Exactly. So these are garlic herb, and Parmesan cheese crusted roasted potatoes. And I picked out reds and goldens, and I cube them. The important thing when you're cooking potatoes like this, whether you're roasting them or boiling them, is make sure when you cut your potatoes, they're all the same size. And that way, all of them will cook approximately at the same time. If you cut them different sizes, some of them will be overdone, some of them will be underdone. So it's important that they're all the same size, and they look better that way too in the pan. So the last step here, we all know how to, basically what I did is I roasted some garlic. I threw some fresh rosemary in there in the pan with olive oil, the potatoes, not that much olive oil, but maybe a quarter cup of olive oil, and maybe a tablespoon of rosemary, fresh rosemary, and 2 cloves of 3 or 4 cloves of garlic that I've chopped up and roasted. And the last step is to go ahead and stick the Parmesan on there. And it's not going to take long after this to finish this off.
Now I've got a question for you.
Yep.
You use fresh herbs. Do you prefer fresh herbs over the other type of herbs?
Yes, I do. If you can get them and they're good, yes. Much better, much more flavor in the herbs. When they're dried, half of your flavor, if not more, is lost. I mean, they still taste good, but this way...
You definitely get the pop of the herb.
So these are literally ready to plate. I don't really need to do much more to that. It's got the crusted garlic in there. It's got the Parmesans. I could stick it back in the oven to let it melt up a little bit, but the Parmesan is not a real good melting cheese, so the flavor of the Parmesan. So I would just plate these in a serving dish, and they're good to go.
And that's such an easy way to do potatoes.
Yeah, it's much easier than a lot of other different ways. So.
Yeah. And it's tasty.
So it's 2 cups of carrots, 8 cups of butternut squash, 1 cup of onion, 3 cups of vegetable broth, half a cup of garlic, quarter cup of, or 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of pepper, and 1 teaspoon of salt, and oil. Vegetable oil. It's a quarter cup of vegetable oil. So basically what I'm going to do is I have 2 things that I need to do. I need to saute my onions, and then I need to warm up my broth.
So this is a really quick soup, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Made from scratch, yes. Doesn't take much. You don't have to cook it a long time to break it down. We're just going to cook it long enough to where the butternut and the the carrots, the carrots will get soft so that we can blend them. Because we're making a bisque, we're going to put them in a blender and smooth it up. So
now, can you explain to me bisque opposed to soup?
Bisque is basically a soup that has that's been blended up, that has cream in it for the most part.
Okay. So anything.
It doesn't absolutely need to have cream, but most bisques that I make do have some component of cream or milk in it. Mm-hmm. But it's a blended up soup, so it's a very fine soup. Lobster bisque, it's very fine. Butternut. Squash bisques, they're all very fine, blenderized up. There's not really any chunks. When we blenderize this, it's going to pulverize it completely, so there won't be any chunks in it, or very few. A little bit of chunks in the onions, but that's about it. And then we mix the cream into it to give it that velvety, smooth flavor. We heat up our oil. It's kind of weird because most times, instead of oil, I would cook off some bacon and saute the onions and everything in bacon, but the recipe calls for just oil. Since we're doing a bisque, it's pretty delicate. The predominant flavor that you want to be able to taste in this bisque is the butternut squash.
Okay.
So we don't really want to overpower it with any strong flavors other than that. So we'll put our onions and our garlic. So I'm going to saute these onions and garlic until the onions become soft and translucent. It's going to take a little bit of time, and while I'm doing that, I'm warming up the vegetable broth.
Now, do you make your own vegetable broth, or do you buy it?
I buy it. I've made it myself. It just depends. The chicken broth we make. Vegetable broth, we don't cook a lot of vegetables here in the restaurant, so if I have a recipe calling for vegetable broth. So when this vegetable broth comes to a boil, I'll go ahead and add the butternut squash and the carrots.
You're going to go ahead and add it?
We're going to add
And now, just out of curiosity, why do you combine the butternut squash and the carrots?
Carrots give it a different flavor profile. Sauteing them like this gives it kind of a roasted flavor. As the garlic gets roasted, caramelized, and the onions get caramelized. So we can go ahead and add
the butter. Oh, and look at that. So you put all your flavorings into butternut squash. Oh, and all of it goes together.
Yep. And this is going to boil.
Okay. Ooh, this smells really good. Especially with that roasted garlic, onion.
So I'm just going to boil this down. It takes about 30, 40 minutes to boil down, so it's nice and tender. Actually, not that long. I don't know what I'm thinking. It takes 30 minutes to get it to a boil, and then after that, it's only going to boil for about 10 minutes. As we push it with the spoon, the squash is mushing. The carrots are just about there. The flavor, the aroma is just incredible. What do you think?
Oh, that smells really good. I like it. I don't know what it is in there, but it almost smells like chicken.
Yeah.
But that smells really good.
I'm going to tell you a little secret.
Okay.
I like chicken stock much better than I like vegetable stock.
Oh, really?
So I cheated.
Oh, did you put the chicken stock in there?
Yeah, I put chicken stock in there.
But it adds a really nice flavor to it.
I'm a carnivore, and you caught me too. Look at that. Can't get anything past you.
Nothing by my nose.
Your nose knows. Okay, so now it's starting to soup up on us, and that's what we want. We're going to take this squash.
Oh, it's cooked down really well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
just put it into the blender.
Into the blender.
And you know, what an easy and healthy side dish to have for the holidays.
Very warm and comforting. We call this comfort food, healthy comfort food.
Yeah.
I'm hitting it. What is it? Now I'm hitting it.
Oh wow, so that's really thick.
The last step, let's try it just by itself,
Okay.
without cream.
That's good.
Very sweet.
Yeah. It's, you know, I like the fact that you put the chicken broth in there because it gives it a little bit of a, I don't know what I would call it, but it's like it hits you when you taste that. But the creaminess of this, oh.
And that's without adding cream. So you can do it just by itself, but then you can also go ahead. So we're not heating this, it's not heated, we're just stirring in that cream into the bisque.
Okay. Oh, I like it with the cream in it. Yeah. Yeah. This is good. This is really good. And you know one thing that's nice about it? This is one of those soups that's nice on a nice winter day. It's not too filling and it's not very fat.
Exactly.
Now you have these dinner theaters here at Smokey's.
Yes.
Could you tell me a little bit about those?
Basically what we do once a month, we do a murder mystery dinner. It's a 5-course meal. This happens to be, this holiday meal that we cook is the one that we're doing for the 13th, Saturday, the 13th of December is the murder mystery. And it's not gory, it's a lot of fun, very interactive. Children 13 and older can come.
Isn't it kind of like Clue?
It is Clue. It's live action Clue.
Okay.
Each person gets a character, but you don't have to really act. You basically just go around and ask each other questions and try to figure out who did it, just like you were doing in Clue.
In Clue, yeah.
Right. So it's 3 hours of fun. So
Yeah.
during that whole time, we're eating a meal. We're trying to solve the mystery, murder mystery. I think the last one we did was a pirate theme one, and nobody solved the mystery. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Out of the 20 people that here, they all guessed the wrong person.
Oh.
In the time before. So in this next time, it's going to take place in the North Pole, and it's a Christmas theme.
Yeah, I did one of the murder mystery dinner theaters, and it was a lot of fun. I would strongly suggest it. And the food is awesome. Look at this. We have this really nice display of all these really nice vegetables. You've got your potatoes, your asparagus, your cauliflower, and your soup, and it's all very, very healthy and very, very easy to make.
Yeah.
And that's the key, isn't it?
Exactly.
Well, this has been The Local Flavor, and we have been with James from Smokey's, and he has just showed us how to create some really nice side dishes. So, if you would like to be on The Local Flavor, give us a call. Until next time, stay healthy. See you later.
Take care.
I love my job.